Hello, I'm Elisha Cooper, and this is my book, Train. Train. The train leaves in minutes. Passengers buy tickets and rush across the floor to where the train is humming on its tracks. Conductors look up the platform. They check their watches. 1 minute. Hats wave. Whistles blow. All aboard. Not all. A passenger jumps on at the last second. The doors whoosh shut. The train pulls out of the station and out of the city. The train is a red-striped commuter train. The conductor swings down the aisle, shouts, "Tickets, please," and snaps holes in the tickets with his punch. The train clatters past ball fields and bridges, past backyards and ponds. Main streets flash by. The view changes every second. Hello, town. Goodbye, town. On to the next town. The commuter train slows with creaking brakes. Announcements crackle. Some words get lost. We are arriving at... The train stops at a small station. Passengers off, passengers on. As the commuter train waits, another train roars past. On another track, larger train, a bright blue passenger train hurrying between cities. The train is late, so up in the cab of the engine, the engineer pulls back the throttle. The passenger train powers forward. It hurtles past barns and farmhouses. The engine is so big it makes other big things look small. The engineer sits very still, but his fingers are always moving, pushing levers, turning dials. He taps a blue button. Long, long, short, long, and the horn blares out. Across a valley of fields and steeples. As the train approaches a rail crossing, it sounds like a storm. As the train passes, it sounds like dropped pots and pans. As the train leaves, it sounds like the da-dum of a beating heart. Then silence. But up ahead, the passenger train keeps going, thundering into the outskirts of a Midwestern city, filled with smokestacks and factories and belching steam. Tracks weave in and out. Small animals scurry under the tracks. The passenger train crawls over the tracks through a jungle of gravel, wires, and dirt. Everything smells of grease and rust and burnt toast. The train lurches up to the station. Bells ring, doors open, passengers off, passengers on. Tall men with red caps unload luggage and wheel it through the echoing hall. In the rail yard next to the station, another train works, an orange freight train, loading up. It grumbles under its breath as rail cars are hauled and hitched to its back. The rail cars are filled with steel, concrete, oil, wheat, corn, and lumber, things used to make other things, sturdy things, all crammed in containers the color of tomatoes and eggs. Thick white letters cover the rail car sides. Graffiti paints their sides too. After the rail cars are linked into one long train, the freight train creeps out of the city and across the Great Plains. It rolls past wheat and prairie grasses, past silos and barbed wire, past a lone hawk circling under a big western sky. The freight train rolls slower than slow, so slow it's hard to tell it's moving, as if the train and the clouds above were having a race to see which can go slower. Slow, slow. And like the clouds, the train does not stop, even as it inches up among low hills. Then another train passes, a dark green overnight train, switchbacking westward. It climbs over the Rocky Mountains through snow flurries and pine forests. The train curves along icy rivers and shoots through tunnels where its chatter turns into a whisper. There are no roads outside, just eagles, elk, and turkeys. As the sun lowers, passengers gather in the dining car, where the waiter sways down the aisle with her tray. She doesn't spill a thing. Plates of meat, meatloaf, potatoes, ice cream, and pie, a movable feast. In the sleeping car, two girls unfold seats into beds and make the room their own. Little sink, little shower, everything little. The girls sleep as the train curls through the mountains and into the night. The moon rises. Wherever the train goes, the moon follows. When the train stops, the moon stops. When the train starts, the moon starts. Sometimes it hides behind a ridge, then, hello friend, reappears. The train rests in small towns, passengers off, passengers on. Stars blink in the cold air, lights blink on the horizon, and the overnight train pushes into the deep hours of the night. And wakes to morning sun. Passengers wake to biscuits, butter, jam, and coffee. Outside, everything is different. Mountains have turned into orchards, snow into grass, boulders into cattle. Now, accelerating into view across a wide green valley on the one last train passes, a sleek and white high-speed train, blurring a streak across the land, swoosh. The high-speed train flies, it glides over bridges and marshes, by bays and highways. Inside, it is cool and quiet. The train is a small world moving through a larger world. Passengers read or type. One whispers in her phone, "We're almost there. We'll see you soon." The high-speed train races toward the city on the coast, and the passengers prepare for the end of their journey. They close their books, they pack their bags, they think about what's next: a clean bed, a warm dinner. They are almost home. And with a slowing turn into the station and an easing of speed and a sigh of brakes and a gentle last thunk, the train stops.